I'm Phil Hayday-Brown. I'm the race director of the Spine Race in the UK and for the Arctic Spine in Sweden. So for 20 years, I've been doing polar expeditions, organising races in the polar regions. And the kit that you're going to see through these videos are amongst the kit that I've been using over the years. And, you know, it's all worked for me and hopefully it'll work for you. Okay, so now over to skis, which are an extension, obviously, of the feet. And then you can use skis or you can use snowshoes. Now, here's an example of a snowshoe. You don't have to use this exact snowshoe, but it's just to show you what kind of thing is available out there. And the whole idea is to keep you floating on top of the snow, so you're not just sinking in and post-holing the whole way. But if you want to do that, you can. So got two kinds of skis here, one longer than the other, one fatter than the other one, and two different kinds of bindings. Hence, I've got two different kinds of boots. So the whole idea with skis is literally it's an easy way to travel across snow and ice, and it keeps you floating on top of the snow. Now, when I say floating, I don't mean you stay right on top of the snow. You will sink, but you won't sink all the way down, and you will get a nice glide eventually. If you ski already, fantastic. If you've done some downhill, great. So it won't be a complete surprise putting skis on your feet, but the technique used, it isn't very technical. You know, there's a little bit of training we can do for you, show you how to use them, and then within an hour you'll get the hang of it, and you'll be off and it'll be good. So starting with this one, this is the typical binding that is on most of the skis that I'll be hiring out, or if you're on the shorter race, then this comes with your package. This is the Triple N BC binding, and if you've done that with the race, so you know you're going to be getting skis off me, you're going to need to get yourself some boots, and this is the style of boot you need. It's a Triple N BC boot. So it has this bar on the front, and it fits this binding here. And this binding, it isn't fitted yet, and that's just to show you how it works. This pops up, it opens up a bracket here, and that bar that's on the boot fits in to there, clamp it down, and you're fixed on. And it's a loose heel, so you can travel along that way. And the grip you'll have, so on these skis underneath, you've got what's called a fish scale under here, and that can offer some grip on the snow, but you'll be pulling a pulk, a sled, which would be quite heavy, so you're going to need skins. So a skin, which is on this ski, it's a bit of material which is smooth one way and rough the other. When you press down onto the snow, you get the grip which will move you forward on the ski. As you can see, the skis are kind of bowed, so when you press down, that's the grip, and when you lift up, that's the slide. Obviously, we'll go through this in detail when you get the skis off us, but we will also be offering ski training as well, so that's going to be an offer, and that'll be up on the site in the near future. So describe that one, describe that binding. There's also this kind of binding, which is it's kind of a Rottefeller 3-pin binding. You got the holes there, fits into the binding like that, clamps down, and that goes around the heel and keeps it on. And that's it. So it's a similar type thing, and you can use this if you want. So there's lots of different ways of doing it. When we get into this, we'll get into it in more detail, and there's also other things we can go through, but this is just a quick example of what's out there, what I'll be looking for. The main thing is, if you are going to come and you are getting skis off me, it's this kind of boot that you're going to need. So there are a few specialist bits of kit that will be used if you want to use it. So this is one. It is called a pulk or a pulken. And it's made by a company called Kvikkjokk, which means mountain sled in Norwegian. So, and this is it. This is the Kvikkjokk. They come in different lengths, different sizes. This is a standard type length and size. It's about a 205, 210 litre space inside, and it's designed to go over snow. So you have underneath, you've got the running rails there around the snow, and packed full of everything you need while you're out there. So in this environment, it's a lot easier to pull your gear behind you rather than wear a big backpack. With the amount of gear you need, spreading the weight in a space like this rather than putting it on your back and having the balance issues, especially when you're on skis or snowshoes, you're going to have that balance issue and going through the mountains. So this is used a lot easier in the snow conditions, obviously. Most of the time you won't know it's there behind you because it just glides along. Obviously, when the snow gets deep or when you're climbing, you're aware of it. You know, it's got its disadvantages as well, which is that uphill, you're dragging something uphill rather than just carrying it on your back. But it depends. You know, you don't have to use one of these. You can use a backpack if you want. But I would heavily recommend this because it is an easier way to tow your kit or carry your kit through snowy environments. So what we've got obviously, like I said before, it's about 210 litre capacity in here. And you've got straps, carrying straps, front and rear, so for moving it around. And then you've got all the strapping to keep your kit in. So if I empty it, so if I want to open it, you've got these straps at the front, which takes out this. And on this style, you've got a little pocket here at the front. So in there could go your snack bag for the day or anything else that you need, kind of that you don't have to get into the main body of the pulk for. And then you've got these straps here, which undo. And then you've got a bungee network here. There's no zips, so it's all just material, bungees, and folding. So that does that, and then it unfolds. Then open it up to access the space inside. You also have a bit at the back here, which you can access. So you don't have to open up the whole bag. In the back, you've got a little pocket which you can access into there. So what you would normally do is when you're packing your pulk, you would have your stove and fuel maybe at the back, so you can access it quite quickly at the back there. And if it does leak, it's going to leak that way. But so folding back up again, you just roll it tight.
There's more in you than you know, okay? So just remember that when it gets tough.
Designed to work in extreme cold, so there's no zips to get stuck. You can do this with big mitts on. It's just attaching those to there, and it's just buckles and hooks. And then you strap this over, and that keeps everything in place nicely. You can also fit stuff on top here. So underneath these bungees or the straps, you can put your tent. If you pack your tent long on the top, or snow shovels or things like that can travel on or under these straps as well. So you don't have to always access inside to get things that you might need quite quickly. And then at the front here, there are two ways of pulling. This one is set up what we call a loose trace, so it's just a rope that pulls it. And then also this one has also got the attachments where you can put a rigid trace that attaches into these bits here, and it's a rigid pole that comes out. The benefits of the rigid pole, especially when traveling in mountainous areas, is because you'd be going up and down, and rigid poles will keep it behind you, whereas the loose trace, you might find your pulk disappearing past you or keep hitting you in the back of legs, which isn't great. And then the way you tow it, there's two ways you can do that. You can have a harness like this, which is worn like a backpack, and you clip on to here, and that's how you would tow it along, wearing that. With the solid trace, it comes with two hooks that you would hook onto to the same areas on the harness there on the two sides. So that's that way. Or you could use a backpack. So this is an actual fjallpulken backpack, and it's got an integral harness, so similar to that, but also you can carry like emergency stuff with you if you want to. Any backpack can be used. This is just one that's actually designed for this. It's got the little D-rings where you can attach to pull the pulk along, but any backpack can be used. You can just find an attachment to use a carabiner or something to attach there. And that's yeah, so that's the pulk or sled. So training to use a pulk isn't that easy in the UK, because you can't just drag a pulk around the park. You kind of need snow or you're going to destroy it. So you need just to train your body on pulling something. And a common way of doing that with people who are doing this kind of thing, polar explorers and the like, is pull a tire over here. This is your typical pulling tire setup. I just pull one tire, but it's a big tire, and you've got harness there similar to that one, and you basically just put the harness on and off you go for a wander around the park. And just be aware when you're doing that, you'll be asked lots of questions, and that will get your body kind of ready for knowing what it feels like to pull something for a long duration. So don't just go out for half an hour, go out for a couple of hours at least, and pull up hills and pull on rough terrain, that kind of stuff, just to get used to what it feels like to have that pulling on your shoulders all the time. One of the main problems with pulling a pulk is when they tip over. So because where you're going, it isn't all nice and flat. It's rugged. It could be on an angle. It could be go over rocks. It could be all sorts of stuff. And there's a funny story connected to that. So when I was doing South Pole, I was in a team of 3, and we were going over this stuff called sastrugi, and it's like waves of frozen snow. And so it does this. So I was at the back, and my 2 teammates. No, sorry, I was at the front. My 2 teammates were behind me. And I'd gone through this little bit of sastrugi. My pulk tipped over, so I kind of managed to right it, and off I went. And then my 2 teammates came, and Hilton came through. His pulk fell over, so Rach was right behind him. So she did his pulk for him. He went off. She came through. Her pulk went over. So being the gentleman that Hilt is, he came round behind her, right at her pulk. She went on, and then he went through. His pulk went over, and she's a nice person as well. So she came round, and I was standing about 50 meters away just watching this little comedy sketch. And they did it for about 6 times before they realized that they just need to both do it together, get through that little bit of sastrugi so their pulks don't fall over. But we were a bit knackered at that point. We'd been skiing for about 3 weeks. So yeah, it was quite entertaining to watch. But yeah, they do tip over. You just have to be aware of it, and if you're in a team or if there's people around, get them to do it for you, or just get used to it, undoing your harness, righting it back up, and off we go again. Arctic Spine Race, entries are open. Book a call with myself, and let's make this happen.